What's up, guys? Welcome to the Chess Giant, your boy Solo. Today's video is really going to be for you Hippo players, and today's video I'm going to be playing nothing but the Hippo as both white and black, and I'm going to be playing it until I lose a game. So here as black against e4, I'm just going to start out with the Owens defense. If you haven't heard of the Hippo before, it's when we fianchetto both of our bishops, put our pawns on e6 and d6, and then tuck our knights right behind. And there's just a ton of different move orders that you can play to get to try to reach it. Here we're playing knight d6, d6 and knight d7. d4 is played, and okay, we see bishop a6. We're just going to play what we're going to play anyways, a6. Okay, we're now up the bishop pair, and against a move like knight e2, we're ready to just continue naturally developing our pieces. I think one thing, guys, that I really like about the Hippo is that you don't need to study a ton of opening theory. In fact, as black, white can play e4, d4, English opening, birds opening. We don't really care. We're just going to continue with our natural hippopotamus defense type chess and get a solid game like this, in which case, we have a good middle game position that we can work with. So here I kind of like expanding in the center with a move like d5 or e5 a lot of the time. White has really tried to defend their central pawns, which is something I don't see very often. So white continuing to do that with the move of queen c2. Let's just play rook c8, eyeing that queen. You never know when things are going to break open. So it definitely never hurts to have a rook aimed at the opponent's queen. That is something that my old coach Eric Schiller taught me back in the day. Let's play c5 now. Putting pressure in the center. Knight f1. So white here trying to play very positionally almost, right? I mean, really not trying to play too aggressive. And honestly, that might be the best approach to the Hippo. I think that oftentimes when white tries to play too aggressive, it only gives the Hippo that much more leverage. So as black, I mean, we could play a move here like f5. That looks interesting. So I'm going to go with it, trying to put as much pressure as we can on that centralized pawn. e5 is played. So here white obviously trying to lock things up a little bit. And, okay, as black, our bishop isn't very active at this point, so we could play bishop h6. We could also just play this move c4, right? Take back with the rook if they take, obviously a very closed game here. Queen d2 is played. Okay, in that case, I'm going to play h5, king h7, and bishop h6. We'll see how white responds. So this kind of feels like a checkers game at the moment. A lot of pawns on the light squares, but I like it. I like it for black. We're now pinning that knight on f4 to the queen on d2. It's just hard for white to create anything easy against the system. So obviously here I'm down a little bit on time, so I got to be careful about the clock. I think just being down, especially in blitz chess, can create a lot of problems. So I try my best to not go down a ton, often unsuccessfully on the clock in games, but knight g3 is played. Okay, in this case, let's just continue expanding on the queen side. At this point, I feel like we're just kind of moving back and forth. Neither side making too much progress. a5 can be played. Okay, we'll break open the a file, and we'll start trading down, potentially. We can play knight c6. So obviously this knight on f4 is now defended. We as black have ideas like queen e7 and g5 potentially against the king side. Just depends what white decides to go with. White deciding to fight for the a file in this situation. So, okay, rook a1, we'll simply capture back. And, okay, we'll play queen e7, attacking that pawn on h4. g5 looks very tempting, so I'm just going to do it, attacking that knight. Here we got a capture, so we'll simply capture back with the queen. We're eyeing g3 now, so we'll play h4. I'm down a little bit on the clock, so I got to hurry it up here. See, Chessman28. If you ever see this Chessman28, you are on the channel. Taking his time. Trying to figure out what to do here. Okay, we're going to take back with check. And then this knight's still pinned, which is definitely a nice asset for us in a position like this. I'd love to get this bishop in the attack, but this bishop is not very active if I'm just keeping it 100 with y'all. We can play this move knight e7, though, and get our knight into the action. So I'm going to try to do that. Knight e7, knight g6, and then now we're simply winning a piece. Guys, in chess, always be asking yourself, okay, how can I improve the positioning of my pieces? Now white simply lost because this bishop is trapped. It cannot get out. And now as black, we're just going to slowly improve the positioning of our bishop. The only way for white to get that bishop out is by playing the king over. But in that case, okay, we're now just up a full piece. You know, we got this bishop running in there, this king making progress. Okay, we'll play king h4. We'll play bishop f5. We'll just continue to just kind of nozzle our king in there. King h1 is forced, in which case we're just going to take that guy off the board. We can now play bishop e2, king e3, f3. Okay, this game's just over. Or over if I manage to not stalemate it, right? Big if right there. Bishop f5. Also, can we just all agree there's like nothing worse in chess than like stalemating your opponent when you're like up like 30 pieces? There's almost nothing worse. Let's just be honest. Okay, new opponent. Okay. Let's now start with b3. Okay, so on to game 2 of this video. Bishop b2. And okay, there's a lot of different ways that we can go about this. You can always just start off by fianchettoing both your bishops. And then moving the central pawns. You can move the central pawns first. One of the central pawns. You can mix it up. It's up to you. I usually mix it up a little bit. You know, I usually don't play e3 and d3 right away because then if you face a fianchetto, it could be a little bit problematic. Okay, interesting. Black here going with bishop f5. So, you know, black playing bishop g4, making us do what we were going to do anyways, and then going to f5. Now we have e4 ideas. We have g4 ideas. Let's just play g4. I mean, this is kind of what we want to do in a lot of Hippopotamus Defense type games anyways, so I don't really see the problem with it. h5 could be an option for black, I guess. I'm just going to continue to expand with f4. I personally am I love attacking. I'm an aggressive and attacking player, so you know, I love getting the hippo, and then from that point, just starting to kind of throw my pawns down the board, depending on what setup my opponent gives me and what weaknesses I see that I can go after. Obviously, this bishop is a little bit awkwardly placed on e6. So, okay, knight e8 is played. I want to trade off bishops. I'm totally fine with that. Here we can, e4 runs into some potential f5 ideas. Let's just castle. Castle's, castling, safe move. Throw it in there. It's not bad. It's definitely not bad. d4 can be played. Starting to feel like a stone wall somewhat, except we got rid of our dark squared bishop, which is nice. Okay, let's play c3. And okay, knight e5 is played. Let's just throw our knight right into the action. f6. Okay, nice move from black there. Nice move. Yeah, it's not good for black to take there because sure we get double pawns, but we get a ton of leverage. Okay, e5 from black I'm not so sure about though, because we take off this rook and we play queen f1 with check. We're getting some active play here. Of course, this queen is active, and we can't take the pawn on e5 because the pawn on e3, so maybe it's not as bad as I thought it was. Let's just play b4. I'd like to get this knight into c5, potentially. I'll pre-move there. Okay, so the queen goes... Oh, interesting. Okay, interesting. Queen goes there. I could capture. I could just kind of play quiet here and just kind of, get a little battery ram on the f-file. This never hurts. Never hurt nobody to get a little f-file battery ram. I will now take on e5. And, okay, bishop a6. Nice move, again, from black. Black playing well here. Some good defensive chess. Yeah, I mean, queen f6 is a great idea, but obviously the knight on e2 simply hangs. So I got to play a move like rook e1. And then knight d4. Eyeing this pawn on c6. Okay, in that case, I'll just play queen d2. Okay, here again, I'm attacking that pawn. I have e4 ideas on the way as well. As always, I'm down on time. So let's play e4. Take back with the rook. And, okay, rook e7 ideas in the air. We can just bring that knight back to f3. c5 is played. I'll pre-move there. Far from winning, but not losing either. Interesting. Okay, so I'm down on time. I gotta make some time back. We'll see how long black takes here. Black here taking quite a bit of time. Okay, queen d6. Just throw the knight in there. Looks fine. Looks fine to me. I don't know. Okay, queen d1. In that case, thank you for the minor piece. And now we're just up a piece. Okay, I'm cool with that. Okay, resignation, up a piece. I think black could have tried to, create something there on time at least. But okay, so a couple games in now. Let's continue. Let's just continue at d3, right? Play a reverse Pirc. There's a lot of different moves, again, that you can play, with the system. I think the traditional move order is g3, bishop g2, and then d3, knight d2. I'll play that next time as black, but we'll play knight e2, castling kingside. I actually didn't have to castle this early on. I think one plus of the hippo is that you can always just keep your king in the center, right? I mean, if black wants to attack on the king side, castle queen side. Black wants to castle on the queen side, castle king side. You could always just hang out in the center of the board and go, where are you going? It's just hard to attack a king that is so unpredictable, right? I mean, this king on e1 can be on, 5 squares apart at any moment, right? So, it's just hard to get after that king. Obviously, the king on g1 is easier to attack, but we already see that the king's on g8. Okay, very strange play here from black with bishop e6. I'm just, I could play f4, but then bishop c8 and e5. So I'm just going to play normal here, king h2. Now knight f4 looks more tempting, though, because this pawn on d5 is a weakness if this bishop moves. And obviously, I can always just take this bishop back and give black some pretty bad pawn structure. Knight, okay, the knight defends it in a position like this. So this is one key idea, guys, that you can use in the hippo, is either moving the knight to c3 or f3 or moving it to f4 or c4. These knights are very dynamic, one move away from being a very active piece. In this case, I'm just going to expand in the center of the board with e4, putting some more pressure on d5. Okay, the pawn captures back. In that case, we'll capture back with the knight, and we will capture back with the bishop. So some active pieces here. Knight d5, attacking the queen. Queen d6 is played. I kind of want to play bishop f4, but obviously that runs into e5. So we'll just continue now with a move like queen e2. Somewhat quiet, but, just queen e2, develop a piece, never hurt nobody. Or at least never hurt the person that was developing the piece. We're defending that knight. Okay, f5 is played. We'll bring our bishop back to g2, and e5 is played. So black here trying to get their game back together. I like just bishop g5 here, eyeing the square of e7. Knight c6 stops this, however. Against that, let's just play c3. I don't want to allow knight d4 to be played. Rook e8 is the option that we see. Let's play rook e1, fighting for that central square of e4. h6 is played. Okay, in this case, I think I got to bring my bishop back home to d2. Black playing very solid chess here. f4, maybe, but I don't really think f4 works. e4 is hard to play as well. This knight on d5 is a little bit of a headache. Bishop e6 is a solid option for black, I think, as well, which is exactly what we see. Let's see, against that move, I could play knight e3, but then rook d8 is played. I'm in a little bit of trouble there, so don't really want to do this, but I think I got to play c4, which obviously gives up the square of d4, but I got to protect my knight on d5. So, okay, you have an active knight, I have an active knight. It is what it is. I want to play bishop c3 and just take it right off the board, to be honest with you. So I'll see if I can do that. As always, I'm down on time, so let's get this going. King h7. Let's just attack that knight. Yeah, guys, I mean, this is the first time I've done a video like this, so let me know what you think of it, and let me know if you like this kind of video, just hanging out, playing on camera, playing some chess. And if so, if there's any other openings or any other, trying to win a lead chess tournament without castling, just any ideas that you guys have that you think would be fun. I want to serve you guys the best I can, so let me know how to do that. E takes d4. Okay, I'm running out of time. Okay, bishop e4. Let's let's attack that pawn on g6. Queen h5 potentially. Looks fun, at least. I don't know. Of course, black can always just capture that pawn off the board on g3. Not sure about that move of taking on d5. Pretty even on time here. I like my position. I don't think it's winning by any means, but I do like it. But I think that I, just got to be careful here. King g2. I'm going to try to break open that h-file if I can. It's probably going to take on h4 right now, though, which is going to be annoying. But, that's how chess goes. Okay, queen e6, capture, check. Bishop d5, pinning the rook. That's a big move right there. We'll capture on f4. We'll play king f3. We will play rook g1. Obviously, we're going to win this guy, but, why not keep the tension for as long as we can? Obviously, right now, black's having to spend time. They're having to try to figure out a way not to lose even more material. King e4, king f5 on the way. We got 2 active rooks. We're up on time now. We're up the exchange. I should be able to pull this one out. b5 is played. Just take that thing right off the board. Rook h7. Why not attack the bishop? Bishop s6. We got rook g6 ready to go. Okay, we'll just play rook g6 anyways. Okay, you know what? Why not just trade down? We're going to win the pawn. There you go. New game. Let's get into it. Okay, so there you guys go. A few Hippopotamus Defense games. Now, the traditional move order is actually g6, bishop g7, d6, knight d7, and e6. This is how a lot of players end up going about the Hippo. Here, white going with a 150 attack type setup, trying to play very aggressively. Okay, as black will play a6. Usually, we play this move of b6, but, I don't have a huge problem at all with playing b5 in a lot of positions. Even like right now, right? The king's on c1. Why not play b5? White's making it obvious. They're trying to make this a race. So let's make it a race. Let's play b5. We're now eyeing b4, kicking that knight off of the square of e4. Okay, white doesn't really seem to care. Very interesting. We'll continue now with knight b6, eyeing knight c4 ideas, attacking the queen and the bishop on e3, which is a very key minor piece for white there. And okay, now I'll start to push with b4. Okay, so we could take the pawn on e4. Definitely very playable. We could also play a5. I'm thinking we just take the pawn on e4, though. So now we're up a pawn. Now we're even in material. But we can now continue with knight d5, potentially. Getting that minor piece on e3, which is exactly what we're going to do. And then here we can play f5. f5 is risky. I feel like f5 is not the computer move. Whatever. It looks fun. We're here to have fun, right? We're here to hang out, here to do our thing. f5, defend the bishop. We'll take towards the center of the board. We got knight d5, potentially ready to go. I think knight c3 is the way to go here for white. That's going to be a hard move to play against. Okay, knight g5. Okay, even worse. Even a better move than I saw. Okay, knight d5, attacking the queen. I don't even know if that works, but at this point, why not? Queen h3. Let's just capture the bishop off? I don't know. Queen h5, we got king d7. And the king getting out of there. The question is, okay, what do I do against queen captures on g2? Do I play something crazy like knight e3? Okay, queen h5. He does go for it. King d7. My whole idea now is that if queen f7, I got queen e7 ready to go. Now I'm just up a piece. So now the pressure is really on white to make a one game out of this. Knight f7. Interesting. Okay, let's just play queen f6. Not really sure what's going on here. I mean, you do get the rook, but I don't know. I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. There's worse for sure, but I guess I don't know. Maybe I'll mess it up, but I feel like black's okay here. Bishop e4. Now this king could be under fire. I'd like to break things open here with something like c5, right? But I don't know if I'm going to have time. Queen g5, I kind of just got to trade off in a situation like that. Okay, my opponent left the game. Looks like they don't like their position. So we'll see, if they don't like it or maybe they just disconnected. I don't know. But yeah, thank you guys for your support if you've watched up to this point. Yeah, just excited about making more content. I'm trying to go full time with chess for those of you that are still watching. Just a list of y'all that have been watching up to this point. The channel, JDub, Mateus, Alan Co., all you guys. Appreciate y'all. I'm excited to, keep making openings, but hopefully keep making some more content too. More types of content, which will be fun. So let's just keep it going. Again, we're gonna be here till I lose. Let's just start off with E3, right? Start with E3. Let's play A3 now, just to show that you can kind of just play whatever you want. Start off the hippo. Bishop E2. We'll start preparing to fianchetto our other bishop. I was trying to tempt black into playing bishop G4, but black wisely does not play that because it just gives us tempo on exactly what we're wanting to do anyways. Queen C7. So here black, very interesting approach. Not trying to take up the center of the board, at least right away. Just kind of going for a traditional setup, fianchettoing both of the bishops, right? I think this is really a solid way to go up against the hippo in a lot of ways. I think oftentimes if you try too hard to push with E5, E4, D4, you're just giving the opponent too much leverage because the position is just going to lock up, and that's exactly what we want as the hippo player. So knight D7 is played. Okay, interesting for sure. I kind of want to play E4. Just depends if I can do it. E4, knight takes. I'm just gonna castle. When you don't know what to do, just castle kingside. It's not that hard. Okay, rook D8. Okay, I'm gonna play D4 actually. I kind of like the hippo in the sense that you can kind of lock up the center whenever you'd like, right? You can always lock it up with E4, D4, put some pressure on C5, and then as always, our knights have a lot of room here in terms of how they want to activate themselves. Here black with a ton of pressure on D4, so I got to figure out how to respond against this. Let's see. I'm thinking maybe knight F3. E4. It's okay. It's not the best hippo position I've ever had, but it works. Knight F3 attacking that pawn. We'll see how black responds here. We're ready to capture back, obviously. Move like E4. Probably knight D2, but we could go to knight E5 potentially. Okay, so they take. And then it looks like they're probably going to continue with E4, against which we're now going to play knight D2, going back. So here black with let's just be honest, space advantage right in the center of the board. We as white, however, though, are looking to play C4 as well as knight F4 ideas. So it just depends if I can find enough time to get these moves in. Bishop A6 is played, trying to prevent that move. Both of these ideas, really. So let's just play rook E1. Rook C1. C4. Black is on their game right now. They're really not trying to let me do anything, which, hey, good on them. We'll see if they can keep the hippo down forever, if the hippo's going to launch out of the swamp like a madman. Knight E8. And the hippo's jumping out of the swamp. C4. I'm eyeing D5. I'm attacking Queen C7. Okay. Black doesn't really seem to care that much. But I'm cool with that. I'll just take on T5. As always, I'm down on time. Knight C4 attacking the queen. Knight F4 attacking the queen. So, here we go. The hippo is out in the open. We have an active game. And I like this position for white. I might not like the time I have. Let's just be honest. I don't really like having a minute and 6 seconds on the clock, but how it goes. Attacking the queen. That just looks fun. Knight E6, attacking the rook and the bishop. We have an isolated pawn. Isolated pawns are interesting in chess. They give you space, but they're also somewhat of a weakness at the same time. So it just depends how you look at it. I personally am usually a little bit uncomfortable with isolated pawns. But okay, D5, defending the knight on E6, eyeing the bishop on G7. Obviously, we're ready to capture back. Okay, black here trying to play some cute chess. If bishop takes D5, we have rook takes C8 is what I meant to do there. If you want to take, I'm going to take you again on G7. I gotta get used to these arrows, by the way, guys. I'm not used to this lead chess stuff. But okay. We'll see. I'm not seeing an easy way for black to get out of this without losing material because we do just have this rook takes c8 idea, right? So, okay, it looks like that may have been how. So queen takes c8. We'll take the bishop off. Okay, so now we see this move there, but now I have knight g5 though, right? Double attack against the rook. Why would I trade down if I can get knight g5, right? So, now the question is, do I break this game open with something crazy? I'm going to do it. I don't know. Looks fun. Rook takes e4, ready to go. Queen takes f7, still in the air. My whole idea is rook takes e4 followed by rook f4, putting even more pressure against that rook. So, okay, knight f6 is played. Here black doesn't want the smoke with that line. Okay, boom, bada bing. Now I'm just winning. Oh, okay, well, kind of want a piece because I have f3 now. And, okay, I got full advantage of that square. I'm going to take this route. Okay, boom. Another Hippo game in the books. Let's keep it rolling, you know what I'm saying? d4 is played. Okay, so let's just continue now with b6. I love b6, especially for you Owens defense players. b6 is an interesting option because it allows white to transpose into the Owens. We're going to play e6 now. Okay, so now white going with the 3-pawn attack type setup. I'm happy this is finally happening because this is really common. Or at least, in my opinion, one of the best ways that white can go about it. I like when, if I'm playing against the Hippo, I'm trying to fianchetto both my bishops or I'm trying to create the 3-pawn chain. I just don't think that 2 is enough. I think that it's just too much of a target for black. So here white defending these pawns and now playing very aggressive. Defending that pawn on e4, putting the knight on e2. Now we're going to see what white decides to do. It seems like they're trying to castle queenside. Okay, but they don't. They castle kingside. So really, they're just trying to create space. They're trying to create space and go, look, what are you trying to do, Mr. Hippo guy? Okay. We're going to respond by playing e5, though, attacking the pawn on d4. So many people like playing this move d5, just trying to lock that game up. And I'm cool with it. I really like playing against this because I get leverage on one side or the other. Okay, pawn takes f5. Let's just take back with the knight. Okay, bishop goes back. We now have the opportunity to castle kingside because this bishop no longer attacks h6. White has spent a lot of time here trying to expand in the center of the board, but we got them to lock it up. We continued by using a flank pawn and putting pressure on the center, and all of a sudden, white's attacking chances don't look that scary. Right? In fact, if anything, it's black that has the active rook, this bishop coming on c8 soon. Seems as if it's black that has the active game here. We're taking on g3. Obviously, now our pawn on g6 is attacked. So let's figure out how to do something about that. Okay, kind of missed that idea. Obviously, if g5, knight f5 is available, but I don't really want to just hang on to g6 at all costs. So, of course, now white is trying to play queen d3 and, create some trouble in that sense. So, c6 is an option. I'm thinking of just putting my bishop on c8, though, trying to protect that square. Queen d3. So here, white isn't really threatening anything, but they're only a couple moves away, right? So, let's play queen d7. At this point, I'm just trying to hang on. There's a little brink in the armor there as I made that pawn on g6 a little bit too far exposed. I'm cool with playing a5 now. I'm just putting pressure on b4. We'll see what it comes up with here. Okay, c5. Wow. Very aggressive. c6. We'll play queen f7. Cool with that. You know what I'm saying? Putting some pressure on d5 now. We could take on d5, and we're going to do it. So I'd love to trade off queens. But obviously, I just lost my queen. So there you go. Far from perfect, guys. Still improving at chess over here. Don't do that in your own games. Okay, don't hang a queen, please. Just don't do it. So, what am I at? Down 4 points in material, and I'm down on time. Well, this is just great. Knight e4. I mean, I might as well try to do something here. course, I just give up my pawn on b4, which is like my saving grace. This is the problem of being down on time in a position like this. Okay, a5 is played, rook a5. Let's see. d5 and e4 is interesting. I'm just trying to find a way to make this somewhat entertaining for you guys. Okay, d5. Knight goes back to c3, e4. Okay, let's play h5. I want to play h4 here. Take back with the rook. And okay, here I'm just trying to blitz white here. I'm obviously down a ton of time, and I'm down a freaking queen. But, you know, it's also hard for, not hard, but, you know, white does have some weaknesses that they got to be careful about. e4 is played, check, bada boom. And now the position is starting to open up, which is not good for me because my opponent has a queen and I don't. Rook d7. Attacking the knight there. Let's see, we got check, in which case, is there anything cute here I can try to do? I can try to do that, which is kind of cute. Obviously, they can just take the bishop and then I get the queen back, right? I think knight takes e6 is the best move there. Okay, but we see rook g8, in which case we simply take off that piece. And my opponent resigns. What? Why would they do that? Okay, well, in that case, we're just gonna continue here. I mean, I think in that position, I was actually technically better, but at the same time, I mean, I had 13 seconds, right? So that's the kind of position that you push. I'm having a hard time here. Everyone's wanting to import me. Are they scared of the hippo or something like that? Okay, b3. Let's just start out with the Larsens. Big Larsens opening guy. g5. Wow. Okay. Well, that's the opening you don't see every day. Knight f6. You know, guys, if this is me playing normal chess, I would play something like e4 or I'd play h4. But we're playing the hippo. We got to stick to it. Let's play g3. d3. Knight d2 coming. Okay, e3 can be played. Bishop g2. Knight e2. Bishop g4. Let's just continue with our normal plan. Again, guys, h3 and g4, great plan. Oftentimes you want to actually tuck your knight behind on g3 as well, especially if there's not a bishop on g6. I mean, guys, imagine if the bishop wasn't on g6 here and the pawn was on g6 or g7, right? I mean, this knight would be very active. It still would be. I kind of side towards playing f4 first, right? Putting pressure on g5 and threatening f5 with a trap. I think it's now white with all the leverage here. f5 is played. And, okay, we can now castle kingside. Knight g3 is probably going to be coming soon. Trying to play that f5 move. Okay, queen b6 is played, however. Here, black trying to be cute and play something like c4. I don't want to allow that, though, so I'm just going to move my king over one square. And, okay, knight g3 would threaten f5. So, again, knight g3. I'm always eyeing this knight g3 move once, at the moment, really, that g4 and h3 is played. Okay, knight b4. What are you doing, bro? What is this doing? What is this doing? I'm confused. Okay, I just play a3. What are you going to do? Give up your knight? I mean, I guess, if you want. It's up to you. Yeah. Yeah, so guys, I mean, I just think the hippo's very solid, right? It's hard to play against. It's hard to find a weakness against it, right? So I think that's part of what makes the hippo so good. Knight c6 is played. Here, black just having a hard time really creating anything here. Knight g3 is played. I'm now eyeing f5 ideas, g5 ideas. Kicking this bishop back. We'll see what black comes up with. That's very interesting. Okay, rook c8. Okay, I'll just drop the bishop. f5. Can be played. This bishop ain't going anywhere anytime soon. Okay, queen c7. Resourceful chess right there. I like that move. Well, not for me, but for them. Right. Okay, so I'll play queen f3. I got to defend that minor piece. I also got to keep it here because I don't want to allow black to take on f5 and then continue with bishop h5. I want to keep my knight here, and I want to hold on to that knight. So now that the square would be defended. we're obviously ready to just capture right back. We're going to take out this bishop if allowed on g6. This bishop is also very active. You know, black has played some cheap stuff here against the hippo in this game, but it just hasn't, you know, just doesn't work. I mean, guys, we got guys like Nakamura, right, playing this opening. I mean, it's just, you know, against computer engines. By the way, the hippo is very good against computers because the computer just, there's not any concrete lines, right? There's just, the computer's like, okay, I guess I'll just sit here and try to make weird moves like queen b8 or something against the hippo. And, you know, the hippo's very solid. It's hard to find a plan against it, even if you're playing against top level computers. Let's just now take that bishop off the board. In this case, gosh, let's just try to, like, do I want to trade down queen? I mean, obviously I want to trade queens, but I'll just put my rook in the center of the board. I'm not seeing any major, okay, so that was a threat. Knight h5. I could take this rook off. I'm trying to think. Obviously I just messed up because if the queen moves, knight takes g3, I'm in trouble. So I guess I just got to start trading down here. Gosh, this has been kind of messy, this stream. Taking the rook off, capturing off the knight. So I'm only down a little bit of material now, but obviously not what I just had, which was a queen again. I seem to have a theme for not liking having a queen. You're just, yeah, I mean, you guys have been down a queen, right? Am I the only one? I mean, maybe, you know, maybe I'm the only one. I don't know. Maybe I don't like my queen. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I don't like my queen. Maybe I don't want it. Let's play rook f3. Gosh, attacking that queen. Knight e5 on the way, probably. Yep. Of course, that gives me some big problems. I'll play bishop f1, knight f7, check ideas in the air. Rook takes f8, check ideas in the air. I'm also down on time, which is just lovely. Okay, so this queen, rook, very active, two rooks here, active knight. It's hard for white to defend. It's surprisingly hard for black to defend this. I mean, they're only up 2 points of material, and we simply have more pieces than they do. But obviously, if black plays this correctly, I think they're going to be okay. I'm just trying to find how to stop it. I mean, queen g7. That's hard. Okay, king f7 check. Okay, rook f7. We'll drop this rook back here. I want to play rook g2. I'll play rook g2. Obviously, I give up a minor piece, but I get the queen back. And yet again, it looks like I'm going to get a win after losing a queen. That is 2 queen lost games in a row. Guys, I do not recommend this. I'm just going to keep it real. It's just not, I'm not sitting here recommending it. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm throwing a check there, even though I see it's just losing a rook, because at this point, I'm just trying to gain time. Boom, there you go. On to the next game with the hippo. Okay, so let's start off with the Pirc. Let's start off with d6, g6, bishop g7, e6. Okay, now we're going to tuck our knight on e7. Depending on, sometimes I'm a little careful to play knight e7 online because sometimes white will play bishop h6 and hope that you pre-moved, especially in bullet chess. If you're ever playing hippo in bullet chess, be ready to face bishop h6 ideas, right? And your opponent takes your bishop, they take your rook. It's just absolutely disgusting. Castling kingside, a6. So, again, usually we play b6, but guys, if white is making their king a target this early on in the game, why not just start pushing pawns on the board and going right after it? So, bishop d3, knight d7 is played. I'm now going to play bishop e7 and probably d5. The reason I do this is because I want white to play e5, or at least have the option of playing e5, and then c5 is going to be available. And if they take on d5, okay, we just capture back with the knight. All of a sudden, white's attacking chances are fizzling out. They've already given up one of their central pawns, and if we ever see a move like g5, we have h5, and if h5, we have g5 ready to go. I've actually talked about this in my Pirc Defense series, but yeah, just very practical advice there. If you see h4 and g4, just be ready to lock it up right away. Here, black, with some ideas. I mean, I could play c5, right? Trying to, c5, queen a5, something crazy like that. I could just start off with rook c8, though.
just support c5, right? Why not support c5 before I play it? Maybe now I'll move like queen e7. This bishop d5 is very active, not going anywhere anytime soon. Definitely like Black's game. I think another common idea, again, we got our pawns on b5 and a6. Why not tuck this knight behind and then throw it into a square like c4 or a4, right? So this knight has a very bright future ahead of it. f4 is played, so white here, not messing around, trying to make something happen, which I respect. Let's play knight b6. f5 is played. Okay, white, again, trying to, create some attacking chances here. In this case, we can just take that off and then continue with a move like knight c4. You can keep throwing your pawns all you want. I'm just going to continue to activate my pieces. I'm looking at queen b4 ideas here, potentially. Attacking the pawn on b2. We'll see how this unfolds, but attacking the bishop, attacking the pawn. b3, we got queen a3 ideas. So, I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, obviously right now, queen b3, we have, bishop c1 is played. We don't really get anywhere. Bishop c1 is played anyways. Against that, let's just play c5. Let's try to break open this diagonal, because I feel like that would be helpful for us. Obviously, white doesn't want it open, but we're going to open it anyways with bishop takes d4. We got our pawn really pretty well defended, but obviously white is going to try to break that game open. So we're attacking the knight. A king run might be necessary, depending on how crazy this is about to get. Let's just bring that bishop back to f6. We're up a pawn, but, this is that kind of position where you're just trying to hang on for dear life. We'll take back with the bishop, attacking the queen. We have active pieces. It's just our king's a little bit exposed. White's king is much safer than ours, which is, I think, really where white's getting their inspiration from. Queen f6. Okay, so let's just attack the queen now. Let's bring our knight back. c4 ideas are in the air, attacking the bishop potentially. Depends how you cut that up. Okay, on top of that, this is good. White, for myself, because white is spending a lot of time right now, which is going to be very helpful later on, as I'm trying to convert this into one, because let's face it, blitz chess is more than just the position. It's also about, okay, can I get my position, can I get my opponent into a, looks like doesn't look like I can offer a take back. Okay, I'm just gonna, they mouse lift, I'm gonna bring my knight back to d6. Knight f5 ideas, ready to go. All right, let's play c3 first. c3 looks fun. Knight f5 attacking the queen. Queen f4 is played. We'll play queen d6, offering, oh, obviously I just lost a queen. Wow. Guys, I'm telling you guys, this is not normal. I am having a problem today with hanging queens. Like, why am I even posting this on YouTube? You know what I mean? Like, this is bad. Dang. I know I'm rusty, but goodness. Okay, let's play there. White there could have just took my rook. Not sure if they have a mate there or not. King d8 is played. Okay, bishop a3. This bishop can't go nowhere. White could try something like queen g8. They're going to have to just keep going back and forth, probably, to get out of... Okay, so white ends up just doing that. I don't know if that was really the way to go, because now I just have a time advantage and just an easy one game. But, it's not like I'm sitting here saying I'm perfect either. I've hung 3 queens in front of you guys in the last 10 minutes. Somehow haven't lost yet. So bring this rook back, c1, c8, b5, boom, boom. At this point, I'm just trying to play moves that I know won't lose a rook. Throw a check in there, make some progress, take the pawn off, bring it back to c4, draw the king over to the center. Okay. And there we have it, guys. Another Hippo game in the works. As much as I'm messing some of these games up, I hope you guys can see that, to start off the Hippo, you do get solid positions. c4 is played. Let's just start off by fianchettoing our bishop and fianchettoing our second one. Of course, bishop g2 is able to be played right away. So in that situation, we're going to have to, go off the rail a little bit. But I still think it's completely okay. We're just going to have a more solidified position there with that pawn on d6 or c6. Okay, bishop g5. We got h6. We can simply capture back. And at this point, okay, let's play d6. We have our usual knight d7. This is another thing that I forgot to mention, actually. You know, in the Hippo, it's, you know, obviously I kind of played b6 on accident because I didn't take my time, right? I was playing quickly. I saw g3. I just played b6 right away. But, you know, you can play, you can always throw in moves like c6 and d5 or b5 or whatever. Like, you know, the Hippo is very flexible, right? And the nice thing about it is that it's very hard for the opponent to find easy, quick ways to beat it. So because of that, you're going to have time, you know, to kind of steer the game the direction you want to go. Here I'm taking towards the center of the board. Knight b5 is played. I'll castle kingside. Knight d6 is a headache. I'll play bishop a6. Here, let's continue with knight c6. I was planning on continuing after queen a4 with knight a5, but here I got to bring this bishop back to b7. As queen takes b7 would hold on to that minor piece. So here, definitely much better position for white. At this point, I just got to hang on. Let's see. I'm actually going to make a weird choice here. I'm going to play knight a5. This allows white to win a pawn, but I'm willing to give that up to get a more spacious position with b5 ideas in the air, potentially forking two major pieces. So I'm willing to give that up. Obviously here I am having to play knight c4, which just gives up a pawn. b5 ideas could happen. Obviously I don't have anything at the moment. But okay, I mean, I'm down a pawn, and at this point, it's just an uphill battle. Let's continue now with a move like rook d8, attacking the pawn on d4. We're attacking f3. Okay, rook d7, kind of a needed move, right? Just defending the square of c7. Queen takes a7 runs into us, simply winning a minor piece on f3. We got rook d8 on the way. You know, not a losing position. Not losing. It's not good. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you it's a good position. Try to get. I'm not sitting here telling you to try to get this position in chess. I'm just saying that. You know, sometimes it's okay to give up a pawn. I think. You know, to get a position where you're not super cramped and not super uncomfortable. It's like, okay, the pawn on d4 is a target. You know, this a7 pawn isn't going anywhere time soon. We got full control of the square of d5. This bishop. You know, we got to try to find a way to get it active in this game. And, you know, okay, we're just playing chess at this point. Here, white wanting to trade down. Okay, we're down a pawn. This king is a little bit, you know, overexposed on g2. So let's just play h5 and bishop h6, attacking that rook. g5 is definitely not sound, but whatever. I don't care. We're playing g5. I've played bad enough in this video. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm high Caro or something. By the way, you know, if you ever see High Caro in person, just let him know. Hey, the chess giant is not as good as you, but he wants to hang out. He wants to play. Just let him know if you guys ever hang out with him, or Levy or any of those guys. So, okay, knight e1. Let's see, rook could capture on d4. I'm going to play f6, try to undermine the center a little bit. Okay, knight d3 is played, though. Good move from white. Not good move for me. Okay, I'm just going to continue to try to put pressure on e5. I'm having to just punch down on the 7th rank. I'm also down on time as usual, which is just fantastic. Okay, knight b4. I'll just take there. Oh, obviously that runs into a check, but white missed it. Queen b7, pinning the knight to the queen. Okay, 4 times, guys. There's 4 times I have hung my queen. It's just getting out of control, and somehow I haven't lost. This is just, of course, I might lose this game, but you get the point. It's crazy. Okay, rook a8, attacking the knight. Bishop e5. Okay, black wants to do that. I'm okay with it. Or white wants to do that. Knight d6 has to be played here. Oh, actually, no, it doesn't. Knight e7 works too. Okay, bishop c8, c3. Here I gotta take. Okay, looks like I might lose this one, guys. We'll see. but maybe I should believe in myself more. Maybe I'll be okay. I'm looking at bishop e1. Of course. Ooh, that's problematic. Okay, takes. King e7. I'm going to capture there. I'm going to play bishop a... Okay, so interesting position for sure. I'm not talking much because I'm just trying not to lose this. Okay. I want to get my king to c8 if possible, or bishop to c7. And try to hold on for dear life. And I am now in Zugzwang, and I just lost my first game. Although I could have continued here with bishop g1, right? Attacking that knight. You know, kind of making this knight go around. You know, by the way, for those of you that watch this video, thanks for hanging on. Thanks for hanging out with me. Just to really quickly cover some of the ideas that I'm not sure I fully touched on. Let's just say as white, for example, you're playing the hippo. Let's go against the two-pawn setup. I'm gonna talk really briefly on why I don't think the two-pawn setup is very good. We're gonna play e3, okay, obviously that's just a bad move order. Okay, bishop e2. Let's say black defensive with knight c6, continues to push with d5, and we just see a regular kind of normal-looking setup from black here, right? You know, two pawns in the center. Black here just playing classical looking chess, but against the hippo. We as white reach a position like this. What do we do? Well, there's really three main ideas in the hippo. Now, some of them I use in this video, some of them I didn't quite get to. One of the ideas is breaking through in the center, right, with e4 or d4, and that's really the main idea against the two-pawn chain. So if you see a move like e4, you got d4 ready to go. If you see a move like d4, you got e4 ready to go. Obviously in this position we can't play f4 because the pawn on e3 hangs, but there's a lot of positions too where it's like, okay, let's use a flank pawn, right, and put pressure on the center of the opponent's position. And then on top of that, another idea by using the pawns, the third idea on top of using the central and the flank pawns, is by using the pawns on the b and on g files, by playing h3 and g4 followed by knight g3, or a3 and b4 followed by knight b3, eyeing some key dark squares on the queen side there. On top of that, with our knights, I mean, these knights on d2 and e2, you know, at the current moment, they're not doing anything crazy, but guys, they're not bad. They're really not bad minor pieces. I mean, this knight on c3 is one move away from putting pressure on d5 and e4. If we put this knight on d4, I mean, very active minor piece. If we put it on f4, as seen earlier, ton of active spaces on the queen side. So really, both of these knights have a ton of potential and how they want to move, giving us a very hyper-dynamic game with these 6 potential squares. And guys, these bishops on b2 and g2 can be opened up at a moment's notice. On top of that, if black, you know, plays something like e4 or d4, and okay, we respond by locking things up, sure, our bishops aren't going to be active, but that's going to give us leverage, right? First off, with our pawn structure, like if black plays something like d4, we play e4 followed by f4, and on top of that, you know, we're going to have the chance to, you know, if our bishop's not active, as seen, okay, our bishop's not active, let's just move it one square, and we're going to be more than fine. Now, obviously, I just castled kingside, we're just losing this pawn, so don't castle kingside in a position like this, but I'm just trying to show you the overall framework of how to face a position like this, you know, and a lot of it's still reactionary. You know, if black wants to advance in the center, we lock things up. If black doesn't want to do anything, we always have those, you know, those wing options. We can always do something ourselves in the center. So anyways, guys, I hung the queen 4 times in this video if you're watching till now. But thanks for watching. Hopefully you learned a thing or two from my good moves as well as my bad. Hopefully it was fun. Let me know what I can do to make these videos better for you guys, besides getting a better chess, which I'm going to work on. And yeah, thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys, and peace.